In this video, we're going to be talking about the 3 biggest heat pump mistakes that you don't want to make. And the truth is, these mistakes are made so commonly, that's why we decided to make a video about it. And it has to do with the combination of sizing, the defrost cycle, as well as picking out the right system for the right climate. Because if you get a heat pump, but it's the wrong heat pump for your particular climate, you're going to be an unhappy camper because it's not going to work the way that it was supposed to and the way that it was designed. But before we get started, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you smash that like button for the algorithm and consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't done so already. We put out daily and weekly content on how you can get the best HVAC for your home. So if you find this content valuable, it's a free way that you can show your support and it is much appreciated. So the first mistake that most people make when they're getting a heat pump installed in their home is that they actually size it improperly. Now, if you're the homeowner, it's not your job to size the system. The contractor should size the system. But the number one mistake that we see made is that the system is sized for the heating load, not the cooling load. Now, the reason it's important to size for the cooling load and not the heating load is, number one, your ductwork is typically designed for the cooling load in a heat pump application. And here's what I mean. Furnaces and heat pumps work differently in that a furnace does not need the same amount of ductwork per the BTU rating in order to heat your house effectively. But because a heat pump works on the refrigeration cycle, it still needs the same amount of airflow per ton of heating capacity that it would as an air conditioner. So if you have a 5-ton heat pump, you're going to need 2000 CFM or somewhere between 1700 to 2000 CFM technically for the system to work properly as a heat pump in heating mode. However, in a lot of cold climates, what you'll find is that the heating load far exceeds the cooling load. Now, if you live in a place like Phoenix, Arizona, or Houston, Texas, or Southern Florida, or Southern California, this is probably not the case. The opposite is probably true, and that is that your air conditioning load or your cooling load actually exceeds your heating load, where it might only take 20,000 BTUs to heat your entire house in Phoenix, because in the middle of the winter, it might be a high of 50 or 60 degrees. And so there's not a big load on your house in Phoenix, but in the middle of summer, that same house might need 5 or 10 tons of air conditioning in order for it to cool effectively. And so the reason that you want to size for your air conditioning load and not your heating load, especially in a cold climate, is, let's say you live in a climate like Denver, Colorado, where your heating load requirements in the middle of winter are 60,000 BTUs, which would be a 5-ton system, but your cooling requirements are only 2-ton system. What this means is that in the middle of summer, your heat pump is now going to be extremely oversized for the system, and it's going to be short cycling, and it's not going to cool effectively. And besides that, in the middle of winter, your heat pump is probably going to be too big for the ductwork and not work effectively as well, because a heat pump needs more airflow than its furnace counterpart for the same BTU output. This is why it's so important to size the system properly for your specific region so that you get the right system for the right climate, which brings me to point number 2, and that is climate. When you're choosing a heat pump, you want to get a heat pump that is specifically designed for your particular climate. So if you live in a southern region, you want to get a heat pump that is going to be more geared towards cooling effectively in the middle of summer, because you're going to have longer summers in an area like Houston, Texas, or Phoenix, Arizona, than you are in a place like northern Montana or somewhere in Minnesota, for example, or someplace on the East Coast. You get an actual fall and things start to cool down. Whereas, I don't know if you've ever been in Houston in October, but it's still hot and it's still sweaty and it doesn't feel like fall. And so getting a heat pump that is designed for that particular climate, for example, our favorite cold climate heat pump, or one of our favorite cold climate heat pumps in the Denver region, is the Daikin Fit Enhanced, because it is a cold climate heat pump. It qualifies for all the tax credits. It does great for heating, and it also keeps up in the high ambient temperatures of the summer, but it is much more geared towards heating than it is cooling, which is why this heat pump does better in places like Denver, Colorado than it might in Phoenix, Arizona, even though we have installed these systems in Phoenix, Arizona, and they work great in that market as well. In a really hot climate like Phoenix, Arizona, or Houston, Texas, you'd be better off going with the highest SEER rated heat pump that what you could afford because the efficiency is going to be there, which means you're going to save that money on your electric bill because in these particular markets, it is hot and your system runs constantly. And so you're going to want to make sure that you have a system that keeps up in these temperatures and keeps your house comfortable and also does so without breaking the bank. And the third and last thing I want to talk about with heat pump mistakes, and this is not so much of a mistake as this is if you don't understand that how your heat pump is working when you get it installed, you are going to have problems because you are going to think that your system is not working when it's just going through a simple defrost cycle. And the defrost cycle is the third point I want to talk about when it comes to heat pumps and people not understanding how they work and mistakes as it relates to how the defrost cycle is set up. Now, first off, let's talk about what a defrost cycle is. Before that, let's talk about what an actual heat pump is, because if you're tuning into the channel for the first time and haven't watched our other videos where we talk about how heat pumps work, in this video, I'll tell you briefly that a heat pump is simply an air conditioner with a reversing valve. And so what happens is that just like your air conditioner, and this is a very oversimplified explanation, so take it with a grain of salt, but in the summer, your air conditioner blows cold air out the vents. Well, in the winter, it reverses the flow of refrigerant so that it blows warm air out of the vents versus blowing the warm air outside. Because if you've ever gone out by your condenser when it's running and put your hand over the fan, you've noticed that it's blowing warm air when it's running in air conditioning mode in the middle of summer. And the reason it's blowing warm air off of that condenser is because it's actually pulling the heat out of the refrigerant from inside your home, and that's how it's cooling down your home, is through that refrigeration cycle. And the defrost cycle is something that happens in the middle of winter, especially if you live in a cold climate where it gets below freezing, because what happens is when your system is heating your home, the coil outside gets below freezing and frost starts to accumulate, and after a period of 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the relative humidity and how hard the system is running, it will go through what's called a defrost cycle, which means that the indoor unit will shut off. And so if you're not prepared for that, you'll be confused as to why your heat pump suddenly stopped running when really it's doing what it's supposed to. And it's just going through a defrost cycle to melt the ice off the outdoor unit. And this typically takes 10 or 15 minutes. Sometimes it takes less, sometimes it takes more. It really depends on the heat pump and the conditions. But when that's running in that defrost cycle mode, it then melts the ice and then it kicks back into heating mode, continues to heat the home until it satisfies temperature. But if you're not prepared for this, you're going to wonder why your thermostat says your system is heating, but why it's going through a defrost mode. And if you have a backup furnace, in the case of a dual fuel system, you can basically set up your furnace to run when the heat pump is in that defrost cycle. So it's more of a seamless transition anytime that happens. And you can do the same thing with an electric heat kit. Just keep in mind this will tend to increase your operating costs because you'll be both operating your heat pump and your backup electric heat strips more regularly. So if you find that the heat pump is in general keeping your home comfortable and satisfying temperature, and it's just a minor inconvenience or something you notice when your system goes into that defrost cycle and turns off, then honestly, there's nothing wrong with leaving it to run without going into backup heat just to run a defrost cycle. So if you can deal with it, then it shouldn't be something that bothers you too much. And for what it's worth, most of our customers don't notice or have a problem with it, but occasionally we will get a call in the middle of winter about why their heat pump isn't running, and we just have to explain this defrost cycle to them, and then they'll find that everything is working fine and it's satisfying temperature accordingly. And like I mentioned, there are dual fuel applications available. And if you're not familiar with what a dual fuel application is, a dual fuel system is a furnace that is combined with a heat pump. So if you want to watch a video that explains how dual fuel system works, I'll make sure to link that at the end. But before that video pops up, if you happen to be in one of the areas that we service and would like to schedule with us, there's actually a link in the description below. And if you happen to be outside of that coverage area or outside of a market that we currently don't service, but would like to be referred to a contractor that we handpicked and hand select, we have a new program that we launched. It's in a soft launch or beta mode right now currently, where we can pair you with a contractor in your area. And that link can also be found in the description at the HVACdopeshow.com. And there's zero cost to you. We're not looking to charge you to place you with a contractor. This is literally about connecting homeowners with the best contractors in their area. So if this happens to be of interest to you, there's a link in the description there. Your information will not be sold to a million different companies. Don't worry, it's literally just going to contractors that would be in your area that meet the specific requirements that you're looking for. If you're looking for a geothermal heat pump, or you're looking for a specific type of furnace or a specific brand of equipment, we're trying to pair people with those particular types of equipment and build out a database of the best contractors and the best companies nationwide so that we can provide our viewers with referrals when they ask. And as promised earlier, there's that video popping up on the screen right now, as well as a few other videos YouTube thinks you should watch. So make sure you check those out if you haven't done so already, and we will catch you on the next episode.